introduction, we are going to look at this case study. So please, I want you to follow me closely. Glasso Industry is a local toothpaste manufacturing company. It has 2 manufacturing plants that make the Evershine brand of toothpaste, which is a trademark product of Glasso. There are different departments that take care of the creation of the product, right from the raw materials handling to the final packaging. Also, there are different sets of workers and their respective supervisors who supervise the activities of their respective departments. Recently, Philip Smith, the supervisor of the packaging and delivery department, left his job for better prospect. Glasso is trying to hire a suitable person for this role. Meanwhile, as the production of the toothpaste cannot be altered, the packaging and delivery department continues to operate without a supervisor. However, within a week of Philip leaving Glasso, things started to fall apart in the packaging and delivery department of the plant. Many workers are seen taking long breaks and shying away from their tasks. The daily output of the packaging and delivery department has reduced drastically, as there is no one to maintain discipline among the workers. Some of the workers are wasting their time by being idle on their job. Also, some of the retailers have complained about receiving fewer units in a box that should ideally contain 100 units of Evershine toothpaste. Glasso decided that while they try to find a suitable person to take Philip's place, they should ask Mark, the raw material supervisor, to temporarily supervise the activities of the packaging and delivery department. This will ensure that the workers in the packaging and delivery department will fulfill their duties diligently. You can understand now how a supervisor plays a crucial role in keeping the workers disciplined and ensuring that they fulfill their duties diligently. Okay, in order to get the workers to work in cohesion, it is important that a supervisor possesses certain skills to make him efficient in his job. So we want to learn about supervisory skills in details. So who is a supervisor? A supervisor can be called a manager at a lower level or a lower level of management. They are referred to as first-line managers. Of course, they are called supervisors. Generally, the supervisors are this level position in the hierarchy below the middle managers in an organization. Some of the titles that such managers holders are called office manager, shift supervisor, departmental manager, 4 persons, crew leader, team leaders, and store manager. Supervisors are responsible for the daily management of line workers who actually produce the product or offer services. Now, every work unit in the organization has supervisors or first-line managers. Most employees interact with these supervisors on a daily basis. And it is crucial that these supervisors should be capable of motivating the employees and get them to give their best performance. The supervisors are the people, the managers that are close to the low-level workers. They are like a middleman between the principal managers of an organization and the workforce. Generally, individuals in line positions such as sales executives, production line worker, or individuals in clerical jobs are promoted as supervisor. So usually, these people do not have any formal. Okay, Mr. Jason, you said the study materials is not included in the one given to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Something will be done about it, please.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. So these people do not have any formal education in management. All right. So we want to look at, we want to describe the functions of supervisors. The function of supervision. Okay. What are the major functions of supervision? The key roles of duties of supervisors can be summarized as follows. Number 1, they assign jobs and tasks to various workers. They are responsible for the quality as well as quantity of production. They monitor the quality control and the quantity of what will be produced. Or is it they call it quality control or assurance control now? Okay. They guide and instruct workers for day-to-day activities. They are also entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining good relationship in the organization. They communicate workers' problems, suggestions, and recommendatory appeals to the higher level management. They relate with workers. Their problems are well known to supervisors. They take the problem, they take suggestions, recommendations, and appeal. All these things are compiled and taken up to the top management by the supervisors. They help to solve the grievances of the workers. In case there are conflicts or issues, they help to solve it without purposely bothering the top management. They supervise and guide the subordinate. Okay, they communicate higher level organizational goals and objectives to the workers. They are responsible for providing training to the workers. They train the workers. They arrange necessary materials, machine tools, etc., for getting the work done. They ensure discipline among the frontline workers. They prepare periodical reports about the performances of all the workers. They are image builders of the enterprise because they are in direct contact with the workers. And of course, they motivate workers. Now, there is a man, Henry Fayo, in one of his 14 principles of management. It's called scalar chain. He said employees should be aware of where they stand in the organization's hierarchy or chain command. So what Henry Fayo is saying is this, that from the highest management to the lowest in any organization, information's instruction requests, explanation should be passed from the highest to the lowest. However, for the sake of conveniences and urgency and time, this part of line of communication can be cut short and thus, and that cutting short is known as gangplank. A gangplank is a temporary arrangement between two different points to facilitate quick and easy communication. Okay, what NFIO is saying is this: for every instruction to come to the lowest worker in any organization, it must pass all through the lines of leadership communication from the highest down to the lowest. But for the sake of conveniences and urgency, this part can be cut short because there are some situations that we need urgent response. So, and such a temporary arrangement is called gangplank between two points of leadership. So there are two main types of supervisory skills that every supervisor should develop. There are two main types of supervisory skill every supervisor should develop. The first one is called personal skill, and the second one is called interpersonal skill. The first one is called personal skill, and the second one is interpersonal skill. All right. Personal skills. There are three major skills, three major personal skills that every supervisor should develop. The personal skills have three under it. Then we have developing self-awareness, managing stress. Every supervisor should be able to manage stress, should develop self-awareness, and should develop problem-solving skill. So let's look at these three in details. Developing self-awareness. Determining values and priorities. Every supervisor should be able to determine values and priorities. Okay, every supervisor should identify cognitive style. Cognitive style is other known as thinking style. It's a concept used to describe the way individuals perceive and remember information. The way individuals think, perceive, and remember information is called cognitive style. So every supervisor should identify his own thinking style and possibly thinking style of others around. Then you should be aware of one's strength and weakness. You should assess attitude towards change. You should assess people's attitude towards change. Okay, then we have managing stress. Every supervisor should be able to manage stress, coping with stressors. Stressor is a stimulus that causes stress. It could be event or environment. So every supervisor should be able to cope with stress, to be able to cope with stressors, should be able to manage his time effectively, should be able to delegate to save time. I believe before the end of the day, we'll be hearing a lecture on delegatory and delegation skill will be coming up. So should be able to delegate to save time. Then use appropriate stress management strategy. Then we have problem solving skills. Solving problems creatively. Every supervisor should be able to solve problems creatively. There are some problems that need not to get to the management before they are solved. Of course, management expects that some problems should not be brought to them, but should be solved by the supervisor. So problems should be solved creatively. And of course, there are simple and complex problems. Using rational approaches in problem solving, then using creative approach in problem solving, then fostering innovation in others. Then we have interpersonal skills. Personal skills are divided into 3. Interpersonal skills are divided into 4. There are 4 sub skills. And of effective communication. Every supervisor should provide effective coaching to his workers, people working under him. Then he should be able to counsel others. He should be able to listen actively, as we earlier said in the morning. Every supervisor should understand concerns and problems by proper probing. He or she should be able to look into some matters, ask some questions, and get information. Then use questioning and probing for better understanding of others. Then use effective communication for building rapport with others. Then influential skill. We talked about influence, building influence in the morning. Every supervisor should be influential, projecting power and influences. There should be a level of influence a supervisor is having on the workers. Okay, exercising influence on others. It should empower others. It should be able to empower others to project a self-confident and strong image. To project a self-confidence and strong image. Okay, then a good supervisor should be able to motivate others. Diagnose poor performances. If there are poor performances, you'll be able to know that things are not working. You never need to be told that things are not working and find out why things are not working. All right. Somebody said self-awareness has been running through each and every topic of discussion. Yes, because that is the core of emotional intelligence. If you don't have self-awareness, there is nothing anyone can do. So self-awareness, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So to be able to monitor performances, give proper feedback, then reward accomplishment. Reward accomplishment. Okay. All right. Then we look at conflict management skills. Every supervisor should be able to manage conflict effectively. Conflict should be managed effectively without, generating into something else. So it should be managed, it should learn, he or she should be able to manage conflict effectively, should identify causes of conflict, then should select and apply appropriate strategies for conflict management, then should resolve confrontation. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. All right. We want to look at giving feedback. Giving feedback. We want to look at feedback. This is where we stopped the last section. I took us on building confidence, feedback. And so we want to continue from here. Feedback is a type of communication that we give or get. I said in the morning that if feedback is not coming, you should go for it. You should get it. It's not bad. As a matter of fact, it's good requesting for feedback from people. It's a critical assessment or suggestions made for improvement. Feedback is crucial in communication as it helps to have honest relationship. Giving feedback during appraisal meeting helps to let people know how effective they are in what they are trying to accomplish. All right. So there are positive and negative approaches to giving feedback. I want us to concentrate and look at this very, very well. There are some people they've given feedback in their organization and it has cost them their job. Some it has cost them a cut in their salaries. Some it has cost them the chance of being promoted. So there are positive and negative approaches to giving feedback. We have indirect approach. Issues are not addressed directly and feedback is fake. In this approach, the feedback we are giving will be vague. We are not giving direct feedback. But in all you have said, the person you are giving the feedback to will be able to pick something from what you are saying. That's an indirect approaches of giving feedback. Then we have general approach. Feedback aims at broad issues which cannot be easily defined. Okay, we have insensitive. Such feedback has little concern for the need of the other person. Insensitive feedback tends to benefit the giver of the feedback. So it's actually not giving feedback for the needs of other persons, but for self. Then we have attacking approach. Aggressive and focusing on the weakness of other persons. This is an attacking approach of feedback. When feedback is given attacking people or aggressively, it is called attacking approach. And this will create a bad image of the giver of feedback. Then we have disrespectful approach of feedback. This feedback is disrespectful and almost insulting. This kind of feedback is disrespectful to the management, to whoever the feedback is being given to, and is almost insulting. So we should desist from giving feedback disrespectfully and attacking aggressively and focusing on the weakness of others. Then don't be insensitive to the need of others. All right. So then we have a poor timing. The feedback is not given at an opportune time. When the feedback is not given at the time that is needed or opportune time, it is called poor timing approach. Then we have impulsive approach. The feedback is given thoughtlessly with the little regard for the consequences. It does not really matter whose us is done. I don't care. Just say, I will say my mind and I don't care who is hurt. No. This is called an impulsive feedback. Okay, it shouldn't be. Then we have judgmental feedback. The judgmental feedback is prejudice and judge personality rather than behavior. People are judged, personalities are judged, and then such is not so good. When we have selfish approaches of feedback. Selfish, the feedback meets the giver's need rather than the need of the other person. It meets the giver's need rather than the need of the other person. So this selfish and insensitive, they are almost the same. All right. All right. Thank you, Ms. Victor. Okay. I appreciate that. So that's a feedback. Thank you for giving that timely feedback. All right. So then we have supportive feedback. The feedback is delivered in a non-threatening and encouraging manner. Supportive, it is given in a non-threatening and encouraging, it is in an encouraging manner. Such a feedback helps in bringing solutions to problems and finding a way out. It helps improving the organization or personality. Then we have helpful. The feedback is meant to be valued to the other persons. We have descriptive feedback. The feedback focuses on behavior that can be changed rather than personality. Then we have sensitive. The feedback takes into consideration the other persons and is sensitive to the need of other persons. Then we have considerate. The feedback is intended to not insult or demean. All right. This kind of feedback, when it's being given, you mind your statement and you don't want to insult or tamper on anyone's emotion when giving them. Then we have direct. This feedback is focused and clearly stated. It's focused and clearly stated. We have healthy timing. Healthy timing. The feedback is given at an opportune time. We have thoughtful approach. The feedback is well thought out rather than impulsive. Then specific. The feedback is focused on specific behavior or event. They want to look at how to improve communication with subordinates. How do we increase or improve our communications with subordinates as a supervisor? There are a few things that supervisor can do to improve communication with their subordinates. Number one, it must present full facts. Such communication must have full fact, present full fact. Okay, do not try to control or resist it. Don't control or resist it. Then use formal channels to supplement formal channels. Sorry, use informal channels to supplement formal channels. Then keep formal talks open and quick. Then announce schedule for making important decisions. Announce schedule for making important decisions. Then the sixth one, openly discuss worst case possibilities, as it is better than letting imagination loose. The cases should be openly discussed, even worst case, rather than letting people imagine what is going on, what will happen. Explain decisions that appear inconsistent or secretive. Okay, then communication on important issues. Then they provide steady flow of clear, accurate, and timely information to subordinates. Information shouldn't be delayed. What they need to hear should not be delayed. It should be passed accurately and clearly on time. Then this will help to prevent rumors by providing information through the formal system of communication on important issues. Okay, prevent rumors by providing information through the formal system of communication on important issues. So how supervisors can use open communication effectively? How can supervisors use open communications effectively? Communication can be used to keep employees up to date with organizational policies, plans, and prospects in order to check speculations. Communication should be timely given to employees, and not just timely, it should be up to date with the organizational policies, plans, prospects, and orders. So every supervisor should be able to brief employees the next line of action, the new policies, the new plans of an organization. An open door policy devoid of favoritism helps percolation of ideas. Every supervisor should practice an open door policy, which will help to prevent favoritism, which can bring a lot of percolation of ideas and demeaning situations to organizations. Then we have setting aside time for personal concerns and queries, improve communication together with time management and productivity. Supervisors should set aside time for personal concerns of workers and should query every whatever that needs to be queried, and they improve communication together with them on how to improve productivity. Supervisors can use feedback from communication to monitor their effectiveness and identify individuals' delegation of work. Regular group discussions and brainstorming sessions boost morale and self-confidence, as well as decrease small talk. In other words, supervisors should be able to, once in a while, have a regular group discussions, call a team, and then discuss, brainstorm together, and talk together. This will, in turn, boost the morale of workers, and of course, they will have confidence in their leader, and it will decrease side talk. Okay. Before decisions are made, opinions are expressed through open communication. Opinion expressed through open communication can be taken into consideration. The communication can be used to identify and make use of key communicators to the group. It can be used to monitor what is happening in the organization. Open communication can be used to give new ideas a trial run. Now, do you know there are three types of supervisors? Do you know there are three types of supervisors? We have patrimonial or family supervisor, we have professional, we have political. Those who have become supervisors by virtue of their being owner or relative of the owner of a company, like bringing family members, friends to supervise, they are called patrimonial or family type of supervisors. Then we have professional, those who have been or appointed on account of their specialized knowledge and degree, like you, right? Professional supervisors. Then we have political civil servants, those who manage public sector undertaking. Okay. So what are the advantages of informal communication? Advantages of informal communication. Speedy spread of information. Informal and open communication channels carry information rapidly. The information passes from one person to another rapidly. Okay. Then we have receipt of fast feedback. The supervisor gets to know the reactions of their subordinate on their policies. The feedback obtained is quick compared to the formal channel of communication. In other words, there should be an informal channel of communication between the supervisors and the workers. It helps to speed up the rate at which feedback is gotten. Then it also helps in communicating the company's policy directly and faster to one another. Okay. Then we have sense of unity. Informal and open communication creates a sense of unity among the employees who share and discuss their view with each other. It helps to develop group cohesiveness. Then it also provides emotional support. Informal and open communication serves as an emotional supportive value. It helps and it serves as emotional supportive value. When the workers are happy when they see their supervisors coming to them and informally discussing with them in an informal and open way, they are emotionally boosted, and it also helps to support their value. Then free expression of ideas. Informal and open communication serve as a means of free expression of ideas by employees. Supplement of formal channel. Informal and open communication serve as a supplement to the formal channel of communication. Informal communication serve as a supplement in those cases where formal communication does not work. Then we have psychological satisfaction. Informal and open communication disperse stress and tension and makes the work environment healthy. If the work environment is not healthy, if it's too stuffy, people will not give their best. But when there is an open and informal means of communication, it helps to reduce the tension and makes people enjoy the work. It's a channel for articulating frustrations, fear, reservation, and elations. Then it also builds relationship. It helps to develop personal relationship beyond the purview of hierarchy can develop. Then it creates ideas and expectation expressed through informal and open communication. It proves invaluable for decision making and planning. Okay. We want to look at the role of motivation in supervision. Role of motivation in supervision. Everyone needs motivation. Anyone needs to be motivated. Everyone needs motivation. So what are the roles of supervision? What are the roles of motivation in supervision? Motivation plays an important role in a healthy employee relationship. Every employee needs to be motivated. They are happy when they are motivated. Motivation could be intrinsic as we have learned over time. But when motivation is in place, people will give in their best. A motivated employee works better and at much faster rate as compared to others. Motivating the employees greatly benefit the organization. A human being needs to be motivated from time to time to avoid a dip in the performance and for him to remain loyal towards the management. Motivation acts as a catalyst for organizational success and helps the individual to remain productive and deliver better results every time. For some of us that are supervisors and managers that are here, that are listening to me, we need to keep doing this. It shouldn't be a one-time affair. It should be a continuous practice. Motivation is very good. When people are motivated, they give in their best. When they are motivated, they put their life online. Motivation. All right. Then simple words like well done, bravo, great work, wow, can actually work. All these appreciative words can actually work wonders and go a long way in motivating an individual. When someone has done something that worth commending, keeping the commendation will not help the company, neither will it help such a worker. Such a worker should be openly commended, should be rewarded. So it was like well done, great, wow. All these words should be used every time to motivate individual. If any employee has done exceptionally well, do appreciate him. Give him a pat on the back. Higher motivation rate results in more satisfied employee. A motivated employee will stick to an organization for a longer duration and enjoy a healthy relationship with his colleagues and a fellow worker. A few days ago, someone was just talking to me about a company he works with. And he said almost every 6 months, people do resign and new persons were coming in. And so the work is not actually, their sales is not moving forward. The company is actually a producing company. They manufacture something. And he made a comment. He said their manager does not care about people's welfare. He does not care. He does not care. He just wants people to work and work and work and work and work. And does not really care if one is sick, if one has a challenge, he does not. And I told the young man, I said, well, let me meet your manager. Just arrange for a meeting so that we can look, as the man he happens to be the HR and is looking for a way forward to his company. Connect me to your manager and let me give him some one or two tips or possibly training. So what are we trying to say? When people are motivated, when people are appreciated, when people are loved and rewarded for doing good, they will do more. They will do more. A token of appreciation is a must. Cash prize, gift vouchers, and shopping coupons help in motivating the employees to a great extent. Every individual tries out to win the prize money and does not find the time to fight or criticize others. Everyone wants to win the prize, and they work and work and work. They did not lose focus and insisted working together to accomplish their tasks within the stipulated time frame, they get a motive to work. The employee must be motivated so that they do not spread negativity around them. They should be motivated so that they do not spread negativity around them. They should be encouraged not to make issues out of small things and not bring their personal tensions to work. Personal tension shouldn't be brought to work. Personal issues, marriage issues shouldn't be brought. Of course, when an issue arises in any home, it will affect the productivity of an employee. They should be made to realize the importance of teamwork at the place and healthy relationship with others. They should always remember their aim of working for organization. Motivate employees to work in a group rather than working alone. They must be made to realize that working in a group means a better exchange of ideas and thoughts. Employees should be motivated to help each other and treat their team member as a part of their extended family. Individuals should complement each other at work, but one should not forget its limit. Too much of friendly nature again leads to problem and unrealistic expectation. There should be check and balance. In other words, people should be given freedom to relate well in any organization, and of course there should be check and balance so that the organization will not spoil the official work, will not rob the organization of their gain and profit. Display names of top performers on the company's main notice board so that every employee gets to know about him. If someone has done well for the month or for the year, or for the week, such name should be placed on the notice board as everyone coming in and out will see his name and get to know him or her. This will motivate such a worker to do more, and it will also motivate others because they will want their names to also appear on the board as the best worker or the most productive worker of the month or of the year or of the week. Give the top performance badge for them to flaunt and do this actively in the presence of all. This kind of activity slightly give up an upper edge to an employee who have worked hard and performed very well. Others also feel inspired to perform better next time. In the organization I work, every year, staffs that have done well are rewarded by our top, the management, or let me say, governing councils. Yes, every staff that have performed so wonderfully well are rewarded, and every organization, every branch of the organization are also rewarded. Another important way to motivate the employee is through job rotation and promotion. The supervisor must ensure that each one is happy with his work and monotony does not creep in to the team. All right. So how do we motivate our team? As a supervisor, how to motivate your team? To motivate people, it is important that you interact with them in such a way that you demonstrate you care. There's a quote someone said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So we need to motivate people by demonstrating how much we care. You can ask people of the family, you can ask as a supervisor, it won't be out of place to ask your worker about the family. It won't be out of place to ask your employee about the family, to ask your worker about his life, to ask him about just personal questions. It won't be out of place. This will help to motivate. It will help such a person to keep moving. Your subordinates feel cherished when you are dealing with them as if you really do care about and appreciate them when you do. So when you care for them, they really feel cherished and they give in their best. You can also adopt a system by trying to know the names of the ones that are very close to you, the names of the children rather. You can ask for the children, just ask by their names. Ask about the wife, ask about the family. This will help them, it will motivate them, it will keep them moving, and they'll be loyal to you, they will be committed to you. You can show appreciation every day when dealing with people. When dealing with people, appreciate whatever they have done. You can motivate your team members by telling them how much you value them and their contributions any day of the year. You can motivate the building, you can motivate and build your influence in leaps and bounds by showing your appreciation of the people around you. By showing your appreciation of people around you. End of the year, you can just get something personally for people working with you. Personally, for people working with you. In fact, small surprises and tokens of appreciation spread throughout the year helps the people in your team feel motivated and value. Okay, excuse me. Okay, in fact, small surprises and tokens of your appreciation spread throughout the year help the people in your team feel motivated and valued all year long. So at the end of the year or beginning of the year, you can personally do something apart from what the company will do for them to your team members. And of course, they'll be committed to you. So these are the various ways to motivate your team, and they are as follows. Support ideas with data. Okay, say it straight to them. Develop an informal channel. Don't rely on formal channel alone. Build a consensus, be committed. To motivate your team, supervisors need to clearly present their ideas and thought with facts or information to support it. Many people respond positively when a view is supported with data or something concrete. Some background research say if you get some information that we had credible to your argument, your chance of motivating people to act on it is very high. Don't just do the talking, but show support with data. It could be imagery, it could be figures. Just support what you are saying with data that they can see. Okay. Then we have say it straight. The skill of motivating people depends largely on the way you put across your point of view. Expert says that supervisors should communicate their point of view in a way that makes a direct impact. Both the substance and the way you put it across plays a big role in motivating. Carefully choose the words, the timing, the forum, and the way the point of view is put across. Say it with a lot of conviction causes a greater impact. Straight. Just make sure you put straight to them what you want them to do, and look for the right time, the right words, and the right forum to say such a view, to pass such a view across to your employee. All right. Then develop an informal channel. It is important to use multiple channels to motivate your team. Apart from formal channels, which is done through meetings, using informal channels to motivate people is important. Such informal motivation can be done in an office corridor, by walking into the cubicle, or even in the canteen. Build a network in your subordinate and good working relationship during such informal encounter, and convey your point of view as if you were thinking about it. You could invite him or them or her to a table. You even take a stroll down within the premises or just somewhere around the corridors or in the back room. Just make it informal. Create an informal channel to pass your message or to relate, to have a good rapport with your worker. Then build a concept. A good supervisor is one who listens more and talk less. We talk about talking less this morning. Okay, since it then can motivate the most, such an approach helps to gain the confidence of teams. So a good supervisor should listen more, listen and understand their point of view. As a supervisor, simply directing someone will have little motivation effect on them. The best way to motivate them is by consulting and questioning. as it helps to gain consensus. When you give them listening ears and whatever they have to say, you listen. When you listen, it helps to gain people's trust and loyalty. Then be committed. The biggest impact will depend on how a supervisor lives up to his commitment. Commitment and consistency. We talked about that this morning. Okay, so, but don't commit to something that may be difficult to achieve. Let the goal be realistic. If you cannot follow what you preach, then the next time your subordinate will not listen to you and won't take you at the face value. So make sure whatever you are passing across, the message is realistic and follow it up. So there are three general leadership styles that supervisors can follow based on the context of decision making. There are so many leadership styles all over, but on the context of decision making, there are three leadership styles every supervisor can follow. Number one, we have authoritarian, autocratic. In this style, the supervisors will make all decisions using his or her own knowledge, contact, or method. In this kind of style, supervisor will not need the idea of any other person, but just his own. It makes decision. It uses its own knowledge, its own contact and method to do things. It will be the alpha and the omega. All right. Then we have participative. In this style, the supervisor makes all decisions after active consultation with staff to solicit their ideas and inputs. This kind of style, after hearing from everyone, of course, you still do what you want to do, but it's just good to listen to them and hear what they also have to say. Peradventure, you have one or two things to gain from them. Then delegated or self-managed. In this style, the supervisor sets strategy and direction and is not usually involved in decision making. All decisions are pushed to people at the lowest possible level of organization. This kind of style talked about delegate the decision making to the lowest possible level of organization to make. Then we want to look at how to provide support and mentoring. How to provide support and mentoring. For the organization to perform better, it is important that the employees are comfortable with each other. For any organization to perform better, the rapport between all the employees are a factor. In any organization where there are rancors, there won't be growth and there can't be growth. So for organization to perform better, it is important that the employees are comfortable with each other, share a good rapport, and work in a close coordination towards common objectives. They must see themselves as a team member, as part of the team of a particular organization. People feel responsible and motivated to do good work and enjoy their work rather than considering it to be a burden. People feel responsible and motivated to do good work and they want to enjoy their work. In fact, any work that is burdensome to anyone, to anybody, can't be enjoyable, and such a person may be looking for an escape route. A healthy relation among employees promotes positive ambience at the workplace, and employees feel happy and satisfied at work. When people are looking forward to coming to an office or coming to work, it means there's an healthy relationship among employees. So, but when people are not, they don't want to come to work, they are always coming late, or they have reasons not to be skipping work, days at work, then one should look into the working environment. So how to provide support and mentoring. They look forward to going to office daily and also work hard to realize their team as well. That have been said. It's important that the supervisor promote healthy employee relationship at the workplace by providing support and mentors them to get the best out of each individual. Competition is essential, but it should not promote negativity or any kind of enmity between the employees. So the following are the few strategies for providing support and mentoring your team. You involve your team members, encourage individuals to share their work with each other, encourage group work, promote informal gathering and sharing, encourage effective communication, encourage transparency among employees, conduct monitoring meetings, organize parties, offer praise and reward. Let's look at them one after each other. Employees should feel important and indispensable for the organization. An individual must be assigned responsibilities according to his interests and job role. Don't impose work on your employees. Let them willingly accept challenges. They must enjoy whatever they do, otherwise they will end up fighting with their supervisors and fellow workers. So your team members must be involved in all you do, but you must allow them to do what interests, or better still, let them work according to their area of interest. Then encourage individuals to share their work with each other. This way, people tend to talk with each other more, discuss things among themselves, and thus the comfort level increases. Let them work together and take decisions on their own. A supervisor should intervene only in extreme cases of conflict and severe misunderstanding. In other words, every supervisor should allow his people, his team members, to do their work and to work with themselves, among themselves. And encourage people, assign them target and ask all your team members to contribute equally and achieve the target within the desired time frame. Okay, so motivate them to work in groups. This way, an employee learns to trust his fellow workers and other helpers this way, an employee learns to trust his fellow workers and take others' help as well. When I joined IIPM as a trainee, in some of our courses we did, we were grouped. And I think I met people in my group. Pastor Informal, we were once together in a group. I think I've been in a group with few persons. Until now, the bond is still there. So every supervisor should help the work by encouraging group work. When you bring people together to work together, they tend to trust and relate with each other. An employee must have the liberty to express his ideas, and all of them should sit together to decide on something which will be beneficial to all. Then we have promote informal gathering and sharing. One should try its best level, and no employee must have their lunch. Okay, I want to get feedback from us. I think it has been just a one-way since I started. So please, if you can hear me very well and you are still with me, we are still together. Please, wherever you are, just type yes. Wherever you are, just type yes. I just want to hear from us. I hope I'm not been talking to myself all alone. Okay. Okay. I want to hear from us. Thank you, Mr. Victor. Thank you, Onyachi. All right. Thank you, Mr. Jani. Joseph, thank you. Olashade Daniel. All right. Elkanah Okai. Thank you so much. All right. Let's make progress. Excuse me. All right. It is better if the employees go out together once in a while or get together, picnic, shopping, and the rest. They should be allowed to bring their family member as well. So informal gathering should be allowed. People should be allowed to go to their lunch together. Employees should attend lunch together. They have they should go to sports together, go on movies together. I mean, watch movies together, go on shopping together, and of course have picnic together. And they should be allowed to bring their family along. Encourage effective communication. Encourage effective communication among the team members. It has been observed that poor communication leads to confusion and misunderstanding. The communication has to be precise and relevant, be straightforward. Encourage them not to encourage them to not pretend things just to please the supervisor. If they find anything unacceptable, encourage them, discuss it with the supervisor, but in a polite way. Then transparency should be encouraged among employees. Verbal communication is not as reliable as written communication. The agenda, minutes of the meeting, important issue must be circulated among all through mails. Then SWAL must make sure all the related employees are kept in the loop. Written communication should be sent to all concerned and not just to any one of the employees, as others might feel neglected or left out. Excuse me. So many people have committed such an error. Of course, in every organization, it's possible for any supervisor or manager to have interest in some people. Among hundreds or whatever numbers of employees in any company, the management or the supervisor may not relate or interact with all the same level. There will be one or two persons that he has his interest in. But this kind of favoritism shouldn't be pronounced. In other words, if there are written communication, should not be sent to just the concerned, but should be sent to all to see. Then conduct morning meeting. Morning meeting is another effective way to support and mentor the employees. Let everyone come together on a common platform and discuss whatever issues they have. The meeting must not be too formal. Allow the team members to bring their cups of coffee. Then start your day with a positive mind. Greet everyone with a warm smile. Then exchange greetings and compliments. If any of your team member is not in a pleasant mood, do take the initiative and ask what is wrong with him. Try your level best to providing a solution. So in what this is saying is, at least every morning there should be morning meeting. And of course, all the employees should be allowed to bring their coffee or tea. Then everyone should be greeted with a warm smile. Then greetings and compliments should be exchanged. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. All right. I think it's not bad or it's out of place if one is dressing nice and you are able to appreciate such a person. Is not out of place. Okay, then organize parties, birthday parties, do surprise birthday parties for your employees, your team members, do surprise birthday parties for them, and do Christmas parties, organize Christmas parties, New Year parties, end of year parties at the workplace. This small initiative actually go a long way in strengthening the bond among the employees. You can get the birthday anniversary of all your team members, then you can organize for cake, then make sure one or two persons are carried along, or if not, everyone, at least the birthday celebrant may not be part of it, so as to make it a surprise for such. You can get cards, you can get gifts, birthday gift for the celebrant. All this will help to win their loyalty and love. Offer praises and reward. Praise the individual if he has done something exceptionally well. Reward him suitably. The names of top performers must be displayed on the notice, but that has been said earlier. Encourage everyone to perform well, to live up to expectation. of the supervisors as well as the management. Okay. How to address problem as a supervisor. How do we address problem as supervisors? Definitely there will be problems, and problems are everywhere. There are problems in every organization, but how we handle such problems or challenges go a long way. It is important you should address problems that occur among your subordinates methodologically and try to solve them amicably. The following are a few ways through which you can address problems as a supervisor in an amicable and methodical manner. Number one, don't wear a disguise. Then don't put others down. Don't learn to communicate effectively. Don't try to be perfect. Get people talking about themselves. Don't be rude or sarcastic. Let's look at them one after each other. Don't wear a disguise. People are much smarter than you realize. The conscious mind may not be smart enough to analyze and see through the disguise that people wear. But our subconsciousness mind does identify fakeness and disguise that people put on. There's no how much you can disguise. People will still know that this is not real. Even if the smile is not real, people will know that this is not real. We have this ability in everyone to identify fake and fakeness and disguise of smile or whatever people put on. So don't wear disguise. When you wear it and people know that you are disguising, they lose their confidence in you. Don't put others down. Never try to humiliate others if you want to make good impression and solve their problem. Instead, boost your own image. Not only do people dislike negative talk, but you are also setting a negative environment to prosper. So when you put people down, when you let people down, when you humiliate people, you can't put people down and be up. In other words, when you are trying to magnify yourself, when you are trying to promote yourself, putting people down will not add value to you. So humiliating others will never add value to you, but rather it will create a choking environment for such a person to prosper. I've worked with one or two persons before. Okay, let me say I've met people before that whenever they want to talk with the top management, and let me put it that way, I'll use that word like that. And what they want to do first is to make sure they rub others on the floor in order to gain interest of such a top manager. And I'm using top manager because that's not what we call such in our organization, but permit me to call it like that. So don't put people down. Don't put others down. It's a very bad and risky way of life. So we learn to communicate effectively. One thing that good supervisors have in common is skill in using words. Every good supervisor must be an effective communicator. Learn to communicate openly, honestly, and passionately to build rapport with people. Then don't try to be perfect. No one can fascinate every minute. When you try to be perfect at all times, you alienate yourself from your subordinate, and they feel that you are trying to prove yourself superior to them. Then get people talking about themselves. If you want to impress others, then show a genuine interest in other people's opinion and view. If you can stimulate others to talk, you will acquire a reputation as a good supervisor as well as a good person. When people saw genuinity in you, they will pour out their mind. They will talk to you about themselves without being coerced. They will talk to you. They will say some secret things to you without being forced. Yes, people will say things you will never imagine to you without being forced. Then don't be rude and sarcastic. Being rude and sarcastic are both aimed at the self-esteem of others. Do not be rude or pass sarcastic. Or sarcastic comments as betraying the self-esteem of other persons and make you less like him. All right. Preventing fallout in a team. Preventing fallout in a team. It is essential that the team members get with each other well and are willing to help each other. Conflict must be avoided within the team to strengthen the bond among the team members and also to increase the productivity of the team. The following are some of the ways in which a supervisor can avoid conflict and fallout in the team. The team member must not be allowed to interfere in each other's work, respect each other's privacy, ensure that people do not keep pestering others to find out what they are up to. Then encourage that people should never criticize anyone or make fun of their team members. If someone does not agree with certain viewpoint, sit with the person and try to come to a common solution. Don't escalate issues immediately without discussing themselves. Okay. All right. I needed to go back. I think let's interact here. Is someone hearing me? Has it happened to you before that someone tried to put you down in the presence of your leader or one of the management personnel in your office? Has it happened to you that someone tried to put you down, someone tried to talk you down while he or she is trying to promote himself or herself? It happens everywhere and possibly every time. So if you have experienced such, I want you to just in the chat room, just I've experienced that before. As a matter of fact, oh, so sorry. Okay. All right. I never knew you'll be hearing that. Okay. I don't know. Let me try to chase them away from here. Okay. Okay, so has it happened to anyone before? So sorry for the noise you are hearing at the background. I will amend now. Please, has it happened to any before that someone tried to put you down? It happened to me, I think some years back. I almost resigned from my work. I almost resigned. But God encouraged us. So I don't know if you are in my shoe, if you have been in my shoe before, if that has happened to you before, please just say something in the chat room and let's hear from you. There may not be time to type all the stories of what happened, but if that has happened to you, if you have tasted part of that before, you can say yes, and of course I will know I'm not the bad person here. I will know I'm not the only one that experienced that. So do you have anyone that have experienced that before? Someone tried to talk you down, whether in your workplace or your office or someone, or in your possibly your family members, someone just tried to talk you down. Someone you heard that this person said something, or you were called that this is what this person said about you. I don't know. Do you have any like that? Okay, I think I'm the only one that experienced that. I was the only one that experienced that. It's all right. Okay, preventing fallout in a team. The team members must trust each other. If your fellow team member has shared something with you, don't disclose it to others. Try to help him. If you can't, it is better to keep quiet. Never double Never double cross your teammates. Your team members must trust each other. Team members must trust each other. If your fellow team member has shared something with you, don't disclose it to others. No, I was saying something. I said I wanted to hear from us if we have experienced this before. And this is exactly what really happened. So we were given an assignment somewhere. We are just three of us are on the same level. We're given an assignment, a very big assignment to do, and the other two were meeting at my back, and without my consent, they will meet. After meeting, they will give the feedback to our overall whatever that called for such a meeting, and it got to a time they told him that this man has not been responding for the meetings. And I was not told on time until when the issue I never knew, but when I heard, I was what? So it wasn't a good time, but thank God we overcame. So team members there must be trust among each team members. Then avoid taking favors from anyone as it might expect you to share a secret within. One should not promote too much personal friendship at the workplace. Try to be a little professional in your approach and keep your professional and personal life separate. Please, excuse me. All right, I'm back. So sorry. I wanted to. I discovered Omelo. So sorry for that. Okay. Never spread any rumor about anyone in the team. Avoid loose talks in the office. It's best to concentrate on work rather than gossiping around. Then do not provoke your team members to fight. The team members must motivate each other to perform their level best. Competition is important, but make sure it's an healthy one. Avoid being partial to anyone. Do not favor anyone. Don't criticize the other person just because you don't like him. Never give priority to your personal interest. Then one should not tamper any data or information important for the team. Do not delete words, but pass on the information as it is in the desired form. One should avoid flight with the team, and it is always better to work as a family. Concentrate on work rather than conflict, as only your work will give you the desired recognition in the future. Then think twice before you speak. Make sure your speech does not hurt any of your team members. Yeah. Okay. Then let's look at steps to resolve situational conflict. Steps to resolve situational conflict. Steps to resolve situational conflict. You need to, step one, set the scene. In setting the scene, we need to understand the situation rationally. Set the scene. Number two, gather information. Understand each other's need and concern. Then step three, agree to a problem. Define a mutual problem. The problem must be defined. Then think of all the possible solutions. That's brainstorming now. Brainstorm for a possible solution. Then the fifth step is negotiate to a solution. Come to a solution that is agreed upon by both groups. Manage yourself if you or your subordinates are getting angry. Then manage yourself to stay calm. Manage yourself if you and or your subordinates are getting angry. Then manage yourself by staying calm, by speaking to the subordinate as if the other person is not angry. Avoid the use of words you. This avoid blaming. nod your head to assure the subordinate that you had him, then maintain eye contact with him. Check with the subordinate and verify that you are hearing each other accurately. When the subordinate stops speaking, then ask the subordinate to let you rephrase what you heard from him and what you understood about his point of view. Ask open-ended questions to understand him more. Avoid why questions. Those questions often make people defensive. Why? All right. Then give subordinate time to vent his emotions. Don't interrupt them or judge what they are saying. Then repeat the earlier step. This time, ask the subordinate to verify what you heard, what they heard from you and understood. When you present your position, use I, not you. Talk in terms present and much as possible. Then mention your feelings. Acknowledge where you disagree and where you agree. When they are convinced that you understand them, ask what can I do to fix the problem. There's a high possibility that he will begin to complain again. Then ask the same question. Focus on action he can do too. Then identify at least one action that can be done by one or both of you if possible. Then ask the subordinate if he will support the action. If he will not, then ask for a cooling off period. Thank the subordinate for working with you. If the situation remains a conflict, then conclude if the subordinate's behavior conflict with policies and procedures in the workplace, and if so, inform him about the issues. Then consider whether to agree or to disagree. Consider seeking a third party to mediate. Now, do you know that management is both an art and science? It's considered as a science because it has an organized body of knowledge which contains certain universal truth. It is called an art because managing requires certain skills which are personal possessions of supervisors. Science provides the knowledge and art deal with the application of knowledge and skills. Science teaches to know and art teaches to do. So we're talking about management now. It's an art and it's also a science. It's a science because it has an organized body of knowledge. It's an art because it requires certain skills which are personal possession of supervisors. Okay, it is a science because it provides knowledge. It's an art because it deals with application of knowledge, okay, and skills. It's a science because it teaches to know, and it's an art because it teaches to do. Situational leadership for supervisors. Supervisors and leaders are essentially people who know their goals and have the power to influence the thoughts and action of others to garner their support and cooperation to achieve goals. In case of supervisors, these goals are really personal and generally to serve the larger goal. With changing times, how leadership is perceived has also changed, but it remains an important aspect of social fabric, nevertheless. The initial theory proposed that leaders are born and cannot be created. There are certain distinct characteristics possessed by few men which makes them leaders. However, another interesting theory which was proposed is called situational leadership theory. The theory says that the same leadership style cannot be practiced in no situation. Depending upon the circumstances and environmental context, the leadership style also changed. We call this laissez-faire leadership, yes. The pioneers of this theory were Kenneth Blandan and Paul Assey. The model encouraged the supervisors or leaders to analyze a particular situation in depth and then lead in the most appropriate manner suitable for the role. In the situational leadership model, the leadership style has been divided into 4 types. Okay, 4 types. The first one is telling. Style 1 is telling. Style 2 is selling. Style 3 is participating. And style 4 is delegating. The telling style is associated with leaders or supervisors who minutely supervise their followers, constantly instructing them about why, how, and when of the tasks that need to be performed. Okay. The selling style is when a leader or supervisor provides control direction and is a little more open and allow two-way communication between himself and the followers. This ensures that the followers buy in the process and work towards the desired goal. Then we have the participating. The participating style is characterized by when the leader or supervisor seek opinions and participation of the followers to establish how a task should be performed. The leader or supervisor in this case try creating a relationship with the follower. Then we have delegating. The delegating style is characterized by when the leader or supervisor plays a very vital role in decisions that are taken but passes on delegate responsibilities of carrying out tasks to his follower. However, the leader or such supervisor does monitor and review the process. All right. So we want to look at the four leadership style. And we have the figure given below represent the leadership style in situational leadership model. We have D1, D2, D3, and D4. D1 is directing. D2 is coaching. D3, okay, sorry, S3, S1, S2, S3. S3 is supporting, and S4 is delegating. Okay, S4 is delegating. Then we have S1, S2, S3, S4. Then we have D1. D1 and D2, they are low. They are low. Their supporting behavior is low, while D4 has high supportive behavior, while D3 has a moderate supportive behavior. Okay. D1, high directive and low supportive behavior. People in this category, they have high directive and low supportive behavior. Then D2, S2 have high directive and high supportive behavior. Then we have a high supportive and low directive behavior. Then we have low supportive and low directive behavior. Well, then we want to look at developmental level of follower. Developmental level of follower. The developmental level of follower is an important indication for a leader or supervisors to decide the most appropriate leadership style for him to adopt in a given situation. The following are the four types of developmental level of follower identified in situational leadership model. We are going to look at them in details. We have D1, D2, D3, and D4. D1 has low competence and high commitment. Low competence and high commitment. This category of followers may not have the specific skills required to perform their task, but they display a high level of commitment towards the tasks they have to perform. Hence, with confidence and motivation, they figure out ways to complete the task. So the people in this group, they have low competency, but they are highly committed to whatever they are given to do. Their level of commitment is high, while their level of competence is low. But with confidence and motivation, these people can do, even though their competency is low, with confidence and motivation, they can, and the high commitment they can perform whatever task is given them. Then we have a D2. D2 they have some competence but no commitment. They have some competence but no commitment. In this case, the followers have a certain level of competence, which might be sufficient to do the job, but they are on low commitment towards the task. This kind of people, they have competence, but they are not committed people. And it's always not good to have this kind of people in anything. Yes, they have what it takes to do the work, but the commitment is not there. So despite of having relevant skills to perform the task, they seek external help when faced with new situation. When they are faced with new situation, they seek for external help. So their commitment level is low. Then we have B3. B3 have high competence and variable commitment. This category consists of followers who have the competence to do the job, but their commitment level is inconsistent. They are not consistent. They are off today, they are on tomorrow. They also tend to lack the confidence to go out and perform the task. Then we have D4. High competence and high commitment. The followers who are identified in these categories are the ones who have high competence and high commitment towards the task to perform. It may so happen that such followers may turn out to be even better than their leader in performing their tasks. They are always there. They perform. They have the competence. They have what is needed. Okay. Now, which of the following leadership style involve? This is an exercise for every one of us. Please, I will need a response in the chat room now. Which of the following leadership style involve minutely supervising the followers? We talked about it just a few times ago. Please, I will need a response. A, B, C, D. Our response, please. A, B, C, D. Okay. A, B, C, D. Am I getting response from anybody? Okay. This telling. All right. Thank you. Okay. Someone said B. Someone said C. Okay. Let's check if they were right. What is B? What is C? Okay. B is correct. Telling. Thank you. All right. Then telling leadership style involve mainly supervising the followers. Okay. Now, the given figure shows development level of followers based on the competence and commitment towards their work. Development level of followers. We have D1, D2 that we mentioned earlier. D1 is low, D2 and D3 is moderate, then D4 is high. We want to look at the commitment level, the development level of each, then appropriate leadership. D1, low competence, high commitment. Such a people, they need telling as a leader that can lead them. Then we have D2. They have some competence and they have low commitment. They need S2. S2. Then we have D3, which is high competence, variable commitment. Then participating will be the style, leadership style that can be used for them to perform and get their best. All right, then we have a high competence and high commitment. The leadership style that can be used is delegating. The leaders can delegate this person with high competence and high commitment to do whatever that needs to be done. In fact, it's possible for such persons, therefore, to even perform more than the leader, but the leader will take the praise. Do we understand what just happened there? Please, if you have any question, you can type in the chat room. What is meant by a D3 follower? Some competence, low commitment, low competence, high commitment, high competence, high commitment, high competence, variable commitment. I need an answer. Who can help us out? What do we mean by D3 follower? So let it be A, B, C, D. If yours is they have some competence and low commitment, that is A. Low competence and high commitment, that is B. Okay, let me look at the response. Okay, someone said D. Okay, Fola Shade D, all right. Veronica D, okay. Let's look at this. You mean the person will be high competence and variable commitment? Okay, D, all right. High competence and variable commitment means D3 follower. Okay, high competence, variable commitment. Thank you. Okay, we got that. Then someone says, okay. So we want to look at the steps to increase follower development level. The following are the steps that a leader or supervisor should use to increase follower development level. What are the steps? Number one, tell the follower what you want him to do. Step one, tell the follower what you want him to do. When duties are not defined, assignments are not defined, it may be hard to get the best from people. Then step two, show him what you want him to do. Show him what you want him to do. You can't actually blame people until you have shown them what to do or how to go about it. Let him try on his own. Remember that there is some risk involved in this. Okay, so when he or she try, there could be a little failure, there could be anything. Just get prepared because he's just doing it for the first time. Okay, observe the follower's performance and focus on the positive aspect of his performance. Correct the negative aspect of the follower. Manage the consequences of the differential between actual and expected performance. What are the benefits of situational leadership for supervisors? Greatly enhances supervisor as well as subordinate performance. It enhances supervisors and subordinate performances. Number two, it enhances and leads a heightened level of accountability, not only in the management realm, but throughout the entire organization. It increases the overall productivity of the subordinate. It boosts and improves subordinates' morale. The institutional leadership creates an enhanced support system for the subordinate to work in. It reduces the turnover time. Then how to make people feel comfortable. How do we make people feel comfortable? There are various ways in which you can make people comfortable so that they can share their thoughts with you, and the ways are as follows. Number one, think other people are important. It has been said over and over. You must think people are important. Number two, you must notice people. You must notice people. That was said in the morning. They don't compete with people. Okay, I think this is a repetition of what we said in this morning. You know when to correct others. Okay, then think others are important. The first rule is to convince yourself that others are important. This has been discussed in the morning. Then you also need, as a supervisor, you should notice each and every person. When you notice your subordinate, they feel they're important, is being recognized, and their morale is boosted. This was also said in the morning. They don't compete with people. This was also highlighted in the morning. Know when to correct others. Okay. The role of supervisor in a team building. The role of a supervisor in a team building. The following are a few key points to have in mind to help in building teamwork. A supervisor is one who sets a goal and objective for the team. A supervisor is the one who sets a goal and objective for the team. The supervisor alone should not set the goal. Suggestions should be invited from one, and all issues must be discussed on an open forum. Supervisor in team building should not be the alpha and omega, should not be all in all. In other words, when setting a goal, the supervisor should not do that. It should be a joint work. Then suggestions should be invited from the subordinate. Supervisor must make his team members well aware of their roles and responsibilities. He should assign duties as per their interest and specialization for them to accept the challenges willingly. Never impose a thing on them. Then a supervisor must be impartial. He should support one and all equally. Partiality leads to negativity and conflict among team members. As a supervisor, one should constantly motivate your team members, motivate them so that they perform even better the next time. Then avoid criticizing anyone. Never make fun of anyone's mistake. Instead, correct them in a polite way. Then encourage the team members to help each other. Avoid playing politics or provoking individuals to fight. Make sure that the team members do not fight among themselves. Avoid playing politics. There are politics everywhere, and politics are uninvitedly present anywhere there are one or two persons. So, but don't play politics here. I mean, don't openly show your favoritism. In other words, don't openly do things that will discourage others or that will provoke others to fight. Don't promote, don't recognize, or don't promote because someone is your town person or is your tribe. Don't promote because someone is from your side. Don't promote because promote based on merit. All right. The supervisor must be easily available to his team. The team members should be able to fall back on their supervisor anytime without fear or getting rebuked. Supervisor must be accessible. Be a mentor to your team members. The team members should be able to gain from the supervisor's talent and mentorship. He must stand by his team always. The supervisor should own his mistake as well as his team members. Don't play blame game or point fingers at others. As a mentor, whatever happens to your team, you will take responsibility. And whenever someone has done something wrong, or whenever there is any mistake or any failure somewhere, blame game shouldn't be played. The supervisor should take the initiative of bringing the team members closer. A supervisor should try his level best to break the ice among them. A supervisor is the face of every team as well as the organization. Discipline is a must. Give your team a direction without fail, without which it fails to perform. Without which it fails to perform. All right. Then it is the duty of supervisor to monitor the team's performance on a regular basis. Any dip in the performance of any team member must not be ignored. If any team member is not performing up to the expected level, give him another opportunity or probably any other role and ensure it delivers his best this time. If a team member comes to you to discuss any of his personal problems, lend him a sympathetic ear. Try to help him Keep the things to yourself and do not escalate it to the management. Then do not ask for too many favors from your team members. Adhere to the rules and regulations of the organization and be disciplined to set an example for your team members to follow or to do the same. We want to look at a real example to understand the importance of effective supervisory skill. Okay. There's a case study here. Samuel Watson works as a supervisor as a textile plant in Ramsey Textile. Samuel is responsible for supervising the workers and working in the dyeing section of the plant. He feels that there is a need for strengthening and improving the relationship between the workers working under him and the plant. Presently, the members of his team are cautious and share a harmonious relationship with each other. However, there's a need to bring them close together. So Samuel decided upon a strategy to do this. He decided that he will set aside a few hours every week for a team meeting. And Samuel will attend only the first meeting and explain basis of such meeting every week. From the second meeting onward, only the workers of his team will attend and coordinate this meeting. The main aim of this meeting will be to bring the workers close to each other. The meeting will serve as a common platform where all of them will come together. They could share information such as their individual best practices, work-life balance, handling of upcoming large assignments, handling absence of their co-workers, etc. They can also share other personal best practices, such as handling financial issues at home, how to take care of children, and other information that may be useful to any of other team members. Samuel feels that sharing information in such an informal way is, in the absence of their supervisors, will bring the team closer together. They will bond with each other at a personal level, apart from the professional level. Also, they will learn to work more cohesively as a team, where each individual is helping each other's target. Each worker will start to look at his team members as an associate rather than as a competitor. Therefore, you can see how supervisors can help strengthen the relationship between employees. By strengthening the relationship between team members, a supervisor can help an employee to increase the performance as well as help the employee achieve gratification at an emotional level. Okay, so which of the following, question now, which of the following is a strategy a supervisor can use to improve employees' relationship? So A is discourage group work. B is promote formal gathering. C is conduct late night meeting. Then D is organize party. I'll need a response. Please, I'll need a response in the chat room. Okay. Someone said D. Okay. Another person said D. All right. D means conduct, okay, organize parties. All right. Organize parties. All right, thank you for your responses. Okay. All right, thank you for the responses. Organizing parties is a strategy to improve employee relations. Okay, so we are moving towards the end. How to establish rapport. The skill of building rapport can be learned and developed into an art. Rapport and influence is at the core of everything. Everything is hinged on good relationship. Employers should build rapport with employees to keep them happy. Hence, it is important that supervisors should learn how to build a rapport with their subordinates. So, how to establish rapport? There are various strategies you can use to build rapport with people, such as follow. Know what you want. What is your purpose in influencing others? In order to persuade others, you must have this in mind. Number two, impress. Impress others through your charm and speech patterns. Remember that people want to please someone they admire and respect. Okay. D is right, sir. Dr. Duayo. Okay, let me go back. Yeah. All right, not quite right. Yes. But it is not saying the answer is not quite right. That's not quite right. He's not saying that the answer is not right. It's just a feedback, it's just a response to whatever as anybody has said. And this is the answer. Organizing party is a strategy to improve employee relations. I hope you got that, sir. Can I forge ahead? Thank you, sir. All right. All right. The skills of building rapport. Okay, I think I've gone beyond this. So, okay, impress others through charms and speech patterns. Remember that people want to please someone they admire and respect. People love to please whoever they love and whoever they respect. So then reward them. Money is always a motivator. It may be the easiest and quickest way to get what you want, but it can be expensive. Okay. So when we want to have good relationship with our subordinate, it's always good to reward whatever has been done. Okay. Then reasons with them. Explain your position. Focus on the answer to their burning questions. What is in it for me? Then compromise. Getting someone to do what you want often involves communication and negotiation. This is where you can take the I'll scratch your back and you scratch mine. In other words, let me help you, you also help me. Then communicate. Communication is the key to influence. Clear and effective communication will lead others to view your point. Then remain consistent. Stay on the course you choose regardless of the consequences. If you flip-flop, it's a sure way to destroy any influence you might develop. Then be the expert. Then active listening. Then be likable. Okay, I think it's telling us that it's not the best practice to organize parties, but can be applied though as a strategy. All right, thank you, sir. I got that. All right. All right, so be likable. If you want to influence others, they have to like you. Then show confidence. If you speak with confidence, people will trust your advice. Then be authoritative. Then the 13th one say brand yourself. People love brand power. If you can brand yourself as the go-to man, others will spread the word about you. That's influence. Then respect. You are more likely to be heard if you are respectful of others. Then use scarcity. People assign values to object opportunities that comes in a limited quantities. There are okay. They understand each other's point of view. Be patient with people. Admit your mistake. Then highlight what you have in common. Practice. Practice persuasion. And Princess took us on persuasive skill. I think so. Just few hours ago. Then practice really does make perfect. Then research fact and argument that prove your point of view. Then ask, be positive, get endorsement. Okay. We want to look at the characteristics of a good supervisor. What are the characteristics of a good supervisor? I have just 5 minutes more to go. Characteristics of a good supervisor. Okay. There's a case study here. I don't know. We will need to, let me quickly rush through this. The following are the traits or characteristics of a good and effective supervisor. Vision. A supervisor should have an ideal goal in mind, which proposes a future better than the status quo. Subordinates will be greatly influenced by them and be motivated by the extraordinary vision of a visionary leader. People love to follow visionary leaders. When you pass your vision to people, you communicate your vision to people, and they buy into it or they see it as something worthwhile. They follow and they want to buy into achieving such. Capability to articulate visions. Apart from getting a vision, there must be a capacity, the capability and ability to articulate the visions for people to hear. Then environmental sensitivity. Supervisors should be sensitive to the environment and should always make realistic assessment. Then we have self-confidence. Supervisors should be self-confident and have complete confidence in judgment and ability. Strong conviction about vision. Okay, then extraordinary personality. A good supervisor should have a behavior that is unique, that is novel, that is unconventional, and counter to norms. Such behavior evokes surprises and admiration in followers. Then influence and lead change. A good supervisor should be perceived as being a change agent and should evoke radical change rather than just act as a caretaker of the status quo. Let us now practice all that we have learned about supervisory skills. Assume that you are the supervisor in a manufacturing plant making glass bottles. Based on your supervisor's role, answer the following questions. All right. You can type our answers in the chat room. You can type answers in the chat room. How do you think you should divide tasks among the workers? Any of these questions, just put any of the answers that won't be too long to read. How can you manage the workload when a worker is absent from work? How will you manage if you are unable to meet the daily production target? Now let's look at this case study. Kate Rotman worked as a supervisor in a cotton wool manufacturing company. He supervises a team of 25 workers. So how can Kate motivate his team members to keep them interested in their work? How can Kate use feedback during appraisal meeting to improve the work performance in future? Then supervisors are responsible for the management of the line workers who actually produce the product or offer the service. Some characteristics of a good, effective supervisor are vision, as enumerated earlier, vision, capability to articulate vision. Then 3 major types of personal skills that every supervisor must have: develop self-awareness, manage stress, problem-solving skills. Then 4 major types of interpersonal skills: efficient communication, then influential skills, motivating others, conflict management skills. The few strategies for providing support and mentoring are as follows. We've talked about them. All these have been learned. So have been talked about. Okay. Competence means the quality of being adequate. We have come to the end of the class. Okay. Means the quality. We talk about competence, which I believe some of us we know the meaning of competence, commitment. Then the direction. We talk about directions. We talk about delegating. Talk about maturity. All these were mentioned. All these are operational terms that have been used. Motivational. Then we talk about participating, performance, then situation, and selling. Okay. So I'm coming to bringing this to an end by saying thank you for listening to us. Thank you for your time. I don't know if anyone has any questions. My time is up. All right. So thank you so much. Any question, please? Does anyone have any question? Does anyone have any question for me? All right, thank you so much, Mr. Sorry, Mrs. Veronica, thank you so much. All right, here I'll draw the curtain and I will be handing us over to the next lecturer. Have a wonderful time learning. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Dave. That has been a wonderful section. Thank you to everyone who has been on board. Our next class is supposed to commence immediately, but I suspect there will be need for us to take a break and then return. So I would like to take a view from the house. If you would like to continue the next class immediately, or we'll take a break and then return. By default, our class is supposed to start immediately, but I would like to have a participative view to that. So if you want us to continue immediately, just type 11. If you want us to take a little break, about 15 minutes break, then you could type 00. If you want us to proceed immediately, just type 11. If you want us to take a break, then type 00. Okay, so I'm getting quite a number of 00. So how many 0 do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 11 and the 00, they are competing. Okay, so we'll just take 5 minutes break and then we'll be back. So let's stay on board. 5 minutes and then we'll be back. 5 minutes. So by 3:05, we'll be back. Thank you so much. Please, let's ensure to stick around. Just make sure you stand up, stretch out, take a glass of water, and then return back to your seat, please. Okay, so make sure you're taking a glass of water, you refreshing. We just have 3 minutes more to return back to seat.